Welcome, guys. Welcome to our live conversation with Sophia. I'm super excited. I cannot wait. Yeah, let's see what God's gonna do. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so let me request you. Or do you, can you request? But I'll really be forgetting how to use this stuff. Oh, let me invite you. Wait. Yeah, just gonna share. Wait, is this my page or Shefindsherstrength? Oh, yes. Hey, girl.
Hi.
You look so beautiful, and then there's just me with like no makeup or
No, no,
whatever.
no, no, no. We both look beautiful. Trust me. Trust me.
How are you? I'm just sending it to people.
Yeah,
So
I'm going to be doing that as well. I'm great. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Did you manage to get your work done?
Yes. Well, it wasn't work technically. It was trying to sort out stuff on the website, which
Yeah.
I managed to get done. I think the internet was just being slow, so
Oh,
I
okay.
just needed to exercise some more patience, and we got there in the end.
Let me just send. When you send, do you know it limits? It's so crazy because it limits.
How many does it limit to? That wasn't the case before though.
No, it wasn't. I don't know. Like it was obviously you can't send it to everybody, but it's just one of those things that it just limits now. Like you have to like do it again.
There we go. There's a new setup on this Instagram live. Like I'm not used to it, but anyways, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, for me, it's limited me now.
Do you know how many people it was that allowed you to send it to you?
50-50.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes. Hey guys. Hey guys. To come in, come in. We're gonna start soon. Sorry, we're just sending the lives. Busy promoting. Let me pin the comment. I didn't pin it. Okay, let me
Oh
pin it.
yeah. Like the topic or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Come in, come in, come in. You look actually gorgeous. Honestly, I've had such a just busy day. I ended up going out and then I ended up getting stuck in traffic. And then I'm like coming back in and it's just so much to do.
Today was surprisingly more busier than I thought it would be because on my way here as well, it seemed quite busy. Um,
Yeah.
yes, I can understand why it could have been busy for you as well, having to mentally be prepared and physically be prepared for today as well.
Yeah, literally. Do you want to start now or just wait a little bit more?
Yeah, like I genuinely don't mind. Up to you, just as we like previously already discussed.
All right, so we're just going to wait 2 more minutes, guys. We're going to start around 7 past to there. But in the meantime, make sure you guys are sharing the live. I've just currently posted a post that says, "We are live, join us now." So you guys can repost and tag. And if you are with people, make sure that you are just bringing people, share. It's going to be an amazing topic. And before we actually start, I just want to introduce the series in itself. So this February, Shefindsherstrength is hosting a series called Loving on Me. And that's basically just taking care of ourselves. And you may be wondering, how do you take care of yourselves and relationships and friendships? That is something that we need to learn, we need to understand, we need to develop, and just really recognizing healthy relationships, recognizing unhealthy and toxic relationships. And that is a part of self-care, knowing how to take care of yourself in situations and circumstances like that. Loving on me is also just taking care of ourselves physically. We also have another live conversation that's coming up at the end of February that you guys should also join in for. But yeah, so today we're just talking about relationships and friendships. And guys, I know that this is probably a topic you hear all over TikTok, all over social media, everywhere. You know, it's one of those topics that people like constantly like, you know, I've heard this before, but
Yeah.
you never know what season you're going to be in. If I had this topic maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago, maybe I wouldn't have been in the situations that I was. If I had this
Yeah.
topic if I had joined lives like this when I was a lot younger, you never know, and things like that. Even in friendships that you will go into, even in friendships that you will, you know, meet, even in relationships. You know, yesterday I was talking to my friend Sophia and I was like, I cannot imagine myself in a relationship right now. She was like, go bye. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to just accept it. But these conversations are going to be able to just help people to be like, when that time comes, or even in friendships and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. So I think we're gonna start now. People are joining.
Yeah.
And yes, if you can introduce yourself, beautiful, and tell us what you are, what you do, and all the amazing things connected to you.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to also you said you're going to have another IG live topic at the end of the month. I'm very
Yeah.
much looking forward to that as well. So yeah, I am Miss 5MT. I go by the name of Miss 5MT. My name is Sophia. For those that know me personally, or those that know me extra personally, they call me Saf. Feel free to call me any of those you would like to. And yeah, so I've been a relationship coach as well as a counselor, as well as / therapist for like the last 2 years now, online. If anything, the work has been done beforehand offline. Most of our work is offline. I say our work is because I don't work alone. Every time I do introduce myself, I also introduce my partner, who is also tuned in. Hey, babe. He's a qualified therapist. We work alongside each other to give a balanced point of view, feminine, masculine, a woman's point of view, a man's point of view. And we found that that's what works for us. So, yes, most of our clients do get two for the price of one. And
Wow.
that's the work we've been doing for the past 2 years together now. And
So how did that idea come across then? Like working with
okay.
somebody?
So, he's just somebody that's full of wisdom, and every time I'd have questions myself, because I always have questions. I've been somebody that's always asking questions, and that's basically how our friendship also started, in terms of me being able to go to him with deep questions. Usually, I thought it would make him, shaking his boots or shake his
I
kneecap,
know,
or get
run
him
away,
like,
right?
yeah, get him to say something like, let me get back to you on that. But he always had questions. So I said,
Wow.
look, if this is somebody that always has questions in regards to anything, this is somebody that I can very much work with. Initially, I did want to work with him, make a series on YouTube, but things didn't work out that way because when you mix business with pleasure, which I won't recommend, uh, things.
The
We're here
sticky
today.
one. It's a sticky one.
We're here today. Yeah, we're here today, and I don't regret it. We're a powerful duo, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So yeah, shout out to you,
So
babe.
happy for you. You need to tell everybody about your ebook that's come out today, please.
Yeah, so everybody that has tuned into this live, you guys have a discounted price to the ebook that has literally come out today. It's called Dating Intentionally. Are you dating intentionally? Which is in regards to what we're talking about today. The comments are making me laugh right now.
Right.
So yeah, you get the ebook at a discounted price of, I think, $7.99. For those that are tuning in today, so feel free to go check out our website. It's the link in my bio, www.iamoverwhoiwas.com. And the
Brilliant.
ebook is there. So yeah, everything we're talking about today is in the ebook in further detail. So yeah, that's a gift from me to you guys today in the month of love.
Thank you so much. So yeah, we're gonna start. I'm gonna hand over to you, and yeah, guys, let's talk. And guys, remember to save all your questions. I'm expecting people to have questions, because if you don't answer now, this is an opportunity once again to ask all the questions that you have been thinking in your head. Let's engage. If also you guys want to join the live at the end, that would be amazing. Make sure you guys engage in the comments. I need to see the
Yes.
comments exploding. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
over to you, girl.
So yeah, I mean, I'm someone that's interactive as well, so I'm looking forward to multitasking by reading your comments here and there. If I do miss it, please do write it again. I love double texters because life happens. There's also the question box there. Feel free to put in
Yeah.
the questions in the question box. So in regards to the topic, before we go into it, I wanted you to also introduce a bit more about loving on me, and then I'll just go into what I had planned for today, and then we can just continue discussing. Because you did say you have a series, but give me more of an understanding so I can also flow off of that about what inspired you to create this series, since this is the first Instagram live on the topic, because it's inspired me. And as you said, there's also a lot of topics and conversations around this, but what is it in this season that you decided, now we've got to talk about this, and I'm ready to hear it, like.
Okay. Okay. Good question. So let's fast forward to 2020 during the pandemic, around, I think it was April. Yeah, just before my birthday in May, we actually hosted a relationship workshop here on Instagram, and it was so useful and so beneficial. But then at the same time, it was like, I felt like, for me personally, I felt like there's just more. There's just more. And as you guys know, that Shefindsherstrength is a platform of promoting wellness in all areas of our lives. And I think sometimes we need these type of conversations to recognize, it doesn't matter, for those of you who are Christian, it doesn't matter how prayerful you are and all those things, you can still encounter challenges within relationships and friendships. Loving on me is also taking that bold steps to take care of yourself in the midst of relationships and in the midst of friendships. Like I said in the beginning, if maybe I had invested my time in conversations like this and really tuned in, maybe I would have learned something if I'd remembered. And I just want this series, Loving on Me, the month of February, which is all going to be about loving on me, especially emotionally, mentally, and physically, is creating that discipline for yourself, to knowing those things, to identifying those things, unhealthy things that are going on in relationships. When it's time to go, like, why are we still here? Why are we still entertaining relationships and friendships? And I feel like, as women, if I'm completely honest, most of us, it takes a good couple of times for us to go, right? Which ends up in our seeing ourselves in seasons that we was never supposed to be in, which ends us up in places that we could have learned before. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, I say a lot of people, not knowing everybody's situation, but I say a lot of people are still going through heartbreak, are still going through healing, are still recovering. Even myself, I'm still recovering and healing. And some of you have even shut off loving on yourself because you are afraid to love. Just the word love is just, well, every time I love, every time I do this, or every time I begin to love myself, something comes in the way. Every time I begin to love somebody else, something comes in the way. I'm over love. I don't want to love. I don't want to give my all, even in friendship. Some of you have had really painful friendship breakups. And it's like, you know what? I don't want to give myself. I don't want to, experience love like I'm supposed to be. And we need to understand that we deserve the right love. We deserve to be cherished and valued first within ourselves, and also in friendships and relationships. That's what Loving on Me series is basically about, is creating that discipline and being bold enough in yourself to understand that if I know these things, I'm secure in these things, I learn these things, it's going to stop me from a lot more heartbreak. It's going to stop me from a lot more pain. It's going to stop me from just really entering and opening doors that shouldn't even be there. Do you know, I'm the first person to say that if I had learned from my mistakes, I would have not been in some of the situations that I was in. Trust me. If I had learned from my mistakes, I wouldn't have not been in the same situation. If I had known that there was going to even be friends that was going to come and go in my life, it would have saved me from a lot more pain. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And this is why we need conversations like this. So guys, I even encourage you to open your heart, ask questions. Don't just feel like it's just a normal conversation. We're talking about relationships. Like, listen, you know your own situation, you know your own heart, you know your own mind. So just take it as we flow. So hopefully that answers your question.
Oh, that was beautiful, guys. Everyone tuning in, please. I want you guys to put clapping emoji in the comments. That was beautiful. That was a beautiful explanation. I got so much from it. But honestly, thank you for sharing that. You pointed out so many vital and important things that I hope it doesn't fly over people's heads. That, for example, one thing you said something about like security, and what I want to bounce off of that, which is when we think about security, what may you think of? What came to my mind as you were speaking was a bank. So, and because the bank came to mind because you mentioned also the word investing, and when you mentioned the word investing, I was like bank, investments, security, and I was like, okay. Then you mentioned the three words: emotionally, mentally, and physically, and I was like, okay, those are the three main important things that are amongst two individuals or within yourself, the things that you have to protect to the highest degree. But people mistake protecting rather than just keeping it away from people, hindering people from, as you said, you've got to open up, you've got to be vulnerable. But the thing is, people don't know how to do these things. Having the conversations is easy. The listening up is easy. Tuning in is easy. But applying these things into our daily lives and our daily routines is where we get tested, is where it becomes difficult, because it's like, oh, I've heard that I need to protect my heart, but how do I protect my heart? The only way I know to protect my heart is not to love, because I've loved before and it didn't work out for me. What guarantees that it will work now? And then the thing is, you also, when you take an introspection or a look within yourself, you realize that some people anyways, because it took me a while to realize that you look within yourself and realize that you don't have inadequate or sufficient skills to be able to get into a relationship and maintain a healthy one. Because the skills that you've had so far, the skills of security that you've lined up for yourself, or the coping mechanisms that you've mastered and you're standing by, has told you that, you know what, love is not worth doing, love is not worth having, love is not worth investing in, whether it's external or internal. But of course, today's discussion is more to do with internal security, internal skill sets, internal mindset, because what you think of yourself, how you behave, how you conduct yourself, your thought process of yourself is what will guarantee the results of what comes back to you. One thing that my partner always says is that everything works in two ways. And when he said that, I was like, oh, why I did this? I'm gonna explain why I did that. And I was like, oh, why? Like, why does everything work in two ways? He's like, you've got two eyes, you've got two nostrils, two ears, a top lip, a bottom lip, right hand, left hand. You got this side of your hand, you got that side of your hand. Everything works in two ways. So today's topic for me, what I wanted to discuss with you guys, is the power of duality. Me and you here were discussing, it's flowing because you were able to highlight so many points that this can be like a whole, as you said, you've made it a series, loving on me. And already we've blown out like how many points in the last 15 minutes that we can probably turn into more ebooks, write books about, make videos on. I'm sure people can stop the live right here and say that, you know what, enough people are inspired, period. So the power of duality. One thing I used to sleep on or not want to understand is why two are better than one. I used to think, nah, I got this. I mean, I'm working out. I'm the one that's putting in the work in the gym. I'm the one that's, looking cute. I'm the one I know that I'm healthy. I go to church. I do this. I read my books. I study. I got my degree. I'm good. My parents are proud of me. I'm okay. Like, I've got nothing to lose. I did what I needed to do. I've achieved what I needed to achieve at a certain age. I'm okay. But then that then prohibited me from learning and gaining new skills that can take me to another dimension, which is in the what you said, the word of season of relationship. I thought, okay, maybe my season would be at 25 plus, but I mean, I was going out, I was in multiple relationships before 25. So why is it I decided already that when I'm 25, I'm going to take relationships seriously. And when I get there, whatever needs to happen, whatever bridge I need to cross, I will cross it once I get there. That was unrealistic. Reason to why I can now look back and say, at 22, at 19, where were these discussions that we are having now?
Come on.
So when you mentioned about, oh, these are discussions that are always happening, listen, I will tune into each and every one of them if I know that I'm going to get something out of it, because I didn't have that privilege. We didn't have that privilege 6 years ago,
Growing
7
up,
years ago, when we were in our mid-teens or early 20s.
But you couldn't even talk about relationships with your parents. What?
Till today, that's still a taboo. So
it is. Oh,
we are setting paths. We are redirecting minds. These conversations, I'm telling you, even women that are double my age, if they could be on this platform and listen in, it would be very much beneficial to them, because they learn the skills of wanting to learn. It's not that you have to learn it today and apply it today. You said the word investments. Investments are something that you will reap its rewards maybe in 2 years' time, maybe in 5 years' time, maybe in 7 years' time. So as I said, today's topic is the power of duality. And what I wanted to highlight is, instead of focusing on like the negative things we've learned from, let's also take some time to also focus on the positive things that we have picked up, we have learned from, because not everybody comes from backgrounds that are, let's say, broken households, abusive parents, abusive siblings, abusive family members, whether it's mentally abusive, sexually abusive. Not everybody comes from those backgrounds. However, even those that come from two-parent households can also go through personal struggles, whether it's bullying at school, confidence issues, insecurity, lack of hygiene. These things are the things where, when it comes to loving on me, I'm learning things till today. For example, I think it was just a few months ago, I learned about the geriatric pregnancy, which is when you try to have kids after 30 or 35, you have a higher risk of, let's say, losing the child, because of, less amount of eggs in your body. So every time we have a period or we have our menstrual cycle, the blood that we're losing, we're also losing certain amount of eggs. I'm like, wait, this was not taught though. We learned certain things in school. Our parents, they make sure they install in us not to get pregnant before marriage, but then they don't really tell us to the fullest degree. And of course, that's not our fault. When we get to a certain age, we start to realize that, okay, there's certain things I didn't know, but what are you going to do about the things you don't know? Are you going to cry? Are you going to blame your mum? Are you going to blame your auntie, your carer? No, you've got to take that responsibility. And that brings me back to the power of duality. Those that are following you on your page right now, please, guys, she's here. She's put herself here, and myself. Our platforms are here to help you guys, to strengthen you guys, to be a place of that you can run to, of refuge. We as women, we are natural nurturers, and there's always been in the society, in our community of Black women, we're always a group of people where, even if you don't feel like, okay, I fit into that group, there's always a group you'll fit into. This is a Christian-based platform. Those that I'm sure are on your page following your platform are Christian women. That in itself is a community which you are currently building. Those that are also following your platform, that are on your platform, are inspired by you one way or another. But the thing is, we're not really encouraged as much to reach out, because we don't want to look weak. Reaching out and looking like you have a lack of information in certain areas will expose you. Darling, you've never been married. You've never been in a 6-month, 1 year, 2 year relationship. You don't know how to maintain a healthy relationship. That is not your fault. But what is your fault is if you don't find yourself in communities or find yourself
Yes.
somebody,
Come
the
on.
power of duality, if you don't find yourself somebody that can put you in the right direction. And that's where it brings us back to, oh, but I've had group of friends before. Oh, they let me down. Oh, I trusted people before. Oh, they broke my heart. Okay, so what did you learn from that? How
Yes.
can you avoid that?
Yes.
So that's what we're going to be answering today, and I'm very much looking forward to our discussion. But I just wanted to kind of give that type of introduction, and just go into it more with you, Samantha, if you don't mind me calling you by your name. But yeah, like,
It's okay. It's
yeah,
okay.
that's what I really want to go into, the power of duality, and the
And
fact
you
that
know
we're
what?
discussing it. I'm very much grateful as well. Thank you.
I was just saying, like, you know what you were saying about what are you going to do about it?
Mm,
Like, I think so many of us, even even myself, I can relate of sometimes we get stuck in it. We get stuck in that pain, that hurt. And it's
yeah,
easier said than done. Let's acknowledge that. But
yeah,
also we have to learn to be people who are going to step outside and find that courage enough to take us out of those situations, to for you to, there's always room to learn. And one thing that I have realized even in my own hurt is that even whilst you're hurting, you're still learning. And that's
mm,
such a privileged thing, that when we pick up the phone and you're hurting, there's communities like this, there's pages like this, there's things that are always there that can help you. And I think it's so important to recognize that, don't get stuck in it, because
mm,
getting stuck in it also has its consequences.
yeah,
Do you know what
yeah.
I mean? Don't get stuck in it. And I think I just love that point that you said, is what are you going to do about it? Now what? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? What are you
yeah,
going to do about the things that you learned? Because we're not called to constantly live in pain and sorrow. God gives us these things and these opportunities for us to learn, whether it's hard or it's easy, in
mm,
order for us to persevere in seasons to come, and in order for us to take that, what we've learned, into the next seasons. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. And I think you wrote it on your story about or you were talking about different seasons that one could be in. Um, and also I mentioned the word having the skill set to know what season you're in, because turbulence happens, turmoil comes regardless of whatever
Yeah.
season you may be in. You could be in a bad season and your season gets worse. You can be in a good season and it gets better.
But
Um,
yes.
but it's like having the skill to understand, okay, what season am I in and what can I do about it? Do I just continue to move along with it, push through, or is there something that I'm actually supposed to learn
Mm,
from what's going on right now, so that when
mm,
I do look at this season in 2 months' time or next week, what is it that I have taken from this situation I can apply if this situation or when this situation reoccurs? Because no matter what, that situation or something similar always is guaranteed to reoccur. That's
yeah.
one thing I realized. That ex that always tries to pop back, that friend that always tries to wish you happy birthday,
Not the
they
happy birthday.
try. There's always going to be something, and we as women can sometimes get carried away. I myself, trust me, I'm
Yeah.
included in that equation, can sometimes get carried away in our emotions. But one thing I've come to understand, and I would advise the women that are watching to understand, is what, as I said, the topic for me being the power of duality. Know that if there's emotions, there's also logic. Find the balance in the two.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, okay, when I reacted emotionally last time, how did it benefit me? Be
Mm,
honest with yourself. Because sometimes we like to lie to ourselves that, you know what, oh, it wasn't that bad. You know, he even though he didn't get me flowers in that last relationship, but he complimented me though.
so
Or
bad.
even though my mom cussed me that day and she called me stupid, but I got an A in this exam though.
Be honest with yourself.
Be honest, because if you're now praising yourself and realizing that, okay, I got this A grade in this exam, that means I'm not stupid. But then in your relationship, you're reacting less logically and more emotionally, and you're realizing that your emotions are causing more damage, but you don't want to take accountability. You want to, deflect. That shows a lack of skill set. It shows a lack of accountability. It shows low self-esteem. And it shows a bit of delusion as well that we don't like to face. I don't know if you mentioned it, but I think you did also mention something about, I don't know if it was you, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I can hear it as your voice in my head. Sorry about that. But it is be a reflection of yourself. Love, I think you mentioned you said something about loving on me was in regards to you just seeing you in 2020. You kind of saw a reflection of yourself from the situations that you went through. Was it something like that you had mentioned? Yeah. So one thing I wanted to highlight is relationships, sexual relationships in terms of opposite gender relationships, usually tend to show us the true versions of ourselves. Because when you then get into a committed relationship, the direction of your relationships is determined by the two of you, you and your partner. And the thing is, we as women, when our relationships seem to go downhill, we're like, the man is not doing this. He's changed. He's not doing this anymore. He used to do this. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to do that no more. But we, as I said, we can be sometimes a little bit delusional. If now both people are committed to each other and one person is now drowning, so your partner in question is now not fulfilling his duties, fulfilling his needs, and you have the audacity to say he's changed, he's not doing this anymore, he's not doing that anymore, where is the commitment and the power of accountability to use the communication skills that we highly praise? You have poor communications. You're not telling me what's wrong. Talk to me. You're not being open. But how you're presenting yourself to your partner is belittling him, is making you stupid, less of a man, irresponsible. Even though he may be some of these things, let's not
lie.
But as I said, we're not trying to focus on solely the negative things, because I myself included have been currently in an extremely healthy relationship, but myself have been the toxic one. And I'm sharing what I've learned in order to avoid my fellow sisters from repeating similar patterns that social media is teaching us subconsciously, songs are teaching us subconsciously, friendships are teaching us subconsciously, and our imagination is teaching us subconsciously. Let's not get carried away, please. So would you say that even within yourself, Samantha, like, are there expectations? Because you did say, oh, me right now, I don't think it's the season for me or the time for me to be getting into a relationship. You don't have to get 100% transparent, but what would you say was the reason as to why you find that right now is not the right time to get into a relationship? What are you avoiding, girl?
No, I feel like, me personally, you know what? Number one, I feel like I attract the wrong people. But when I say wrong people, I mean it is because of the wrong people. And number two, I feel like I take my heartbreaks to the core. But I'm that type of person because I'm an emotional person. Like, I will go through my emotions and my seasons of crying, of being upset and questioning. And then I'm like, I don't want this again. I don't want this again. I don't want this again. And I think for me, it's weird because I'll be praying and I'll be like, God, I want marriage. I want a healthy relationship. I want this. I don't want to go through generational things. But then it's like when I'm out of that praying moment, I don't want anything to do with men. Do you know what I mean? And then I have to
That's the truth.
And I have to rebuke myself because I have to be like, you're not aligning with your desires. And why is that? you're not aligning with your desires. And now I'm realizing, even the conversation I had with my friend yesterday, I'm like, okay, I may be in a season of recovering, but that's just not going to be the end. Do you know what I
No.
mean?
Yeah.
And I think because of my past of how I wouldn't say experience love, but one thing that I want to bring up quickly is idolization. When you idolize something, right? You idolize how you want to be loved, how you want to be treated, how you want to be spoiled, so many things, and you go with that expectation and that whole idolization in every talking, in every meeting, guy, it damages you, and you get to the point where you're like, well, now what do I say? Now what do I think? Like, now what do I think? Do you know what I mean? Like, now I'm like, okay, this has come, he's come, he was this, he was that, he was that. And it's like, because of that danger of opening that, you know, door in my mind of idolizing all these things, it's put me in a place where I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have expectations like that. Maybe I should focus on what I'm doing, focus on me and my security and what I want and how secure I am in myself, and not expect that from them, because that now throws back at me, if that makes sense. So like for me, like I know I'm in a season where I still have to finish the healing process. And sometimes your healing process is not even about the current person or the past person, but it's even about the people way, 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 way back that you now have to start thinking, I didn't actually forgive that person. I didn't let go of that person. What the consequences I'm facing is because of that relationship, is because of that. Do you know what I mean? So now I'm just there like, no, I have to align myself with my desires and know that in order for me to, you know, get married and all those things which I desire, I have to be able to go through that process of allowing myself to heal, so that one day I can be vulnerable to that person. One day I can open up to that person. Because I was listening to my friend, I was like, bruh, if I can't even think of even just talking to a guy right now, I cannot. Like, I cannot. Like, I was watching Watery Road, the new season. And you know that couple, Sammy and the other guy?
I don't know the names, but I know the one you're talking about.
I was skipping. I was like, no, what's that? No. And that's me. Like, it's a toxic trait that I've created, which was out of my pain and my trauma. Like, TikTok, no, I'll scroll. Instagram, I don't want to hear relation. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear that. Even on TV acting, I will skip. I will be like, that's probably not even real, and all this, that. And it's like, I'm now learning to know, Sammy, because what you're doing is you're allowing that to now turn into an ongoing thing. You're idolizing that, and you are now allowing that to hinder your growth and your healing, because healing is not being stuck in that mindset. Healing is growing and allowing yourself to take those lessons to heal and recover. That makes sense.
Good skill set, you know, a skill set where you're actually holding yourself, yourself and your friend are holding you accountable. Because I think from my platform as well, I noticed that a lot of the times I was directing my content towards the man, 5 things a man is doing wrong, 5 things a man should do better, 5 things, if your man is not doing this, throw him away. The views, the likes, the comments, yes sis, go sis, oh preach. But then when it's like 5 things you as a woman can do better to love your man, they're like, but they're gonna cheat anyways. 5 things to maintain peace in your household. What? The man should bring me peace because he's taking my peace away. Wait, why are we all like? It's very, very. So I'm sure once I started to make more content in regards to how we as women can play our part by maintaining and keeping a healthy relationship or friendship, the follow count was decreasing, the view count was decreasing. But what I wanted to also highlight with what you said, was expectations. Expectations is dangerous, but you what you did was you had an idea of what you wanted. I'd prefer you have an idea than go into a relationship or friendship with no idea, because it's proven fact that those that go into relationships or friendships with no idea will get walked all over, will get walked on, will get taken advantage of.
But then you see that is like, okay, if I go in with no idea, some people would argue, then at least you have no expectations of what's going to happen. Oh, I didn't know this was going to happen. But if you go in with idea, and you think, yeah, okay, he's like this, the first date is like this, okay, he said this, okay, he said that, so that means this, that means that. It's like, it's one of those ones where it's like, how do you balance? Like, you know what I mean?
You're speaking from a place of where your skill set is better than the majority. That's to be honest with you. Many people have not got to the place where you're talking to me right now. Where the season that you're in right now is not the same season that others are in right now. So we're talking to the majority. And the majority are not where you are at right now. So that's what I'm lining it up towards. So what you said is perfectly fine, because you've got the skill set to be able to differentiate this person. They're not replying back. They're replying back 5 to 7 working days after I've messaged them. Yes, they may be going through life. Yes, they may be busy, but I'm seeing that even in person, their energy or their attention span is as if they don't appreciate my presence. Please, if you don't appreciate my presence, I'd rather spend my time with somebody else. And I'm talking about friendships, by the way. Friendships, because we're not just talking about relationships today. But other people would rather that in that situation, what they would do, they will hold on to the person even tighter. No! You've lost it. You've lost your self-respect. You've lost your sense of direction. And then they won't find themselves asking themselves, wait, what am I getting from this relationship? Many people won't do that. Many girls, many men, many boys, because maybe some people, their motivation behind why they're friends with someone or why they like somebody is intangible things. They're cute. They're good vibes. They're fun. They know how to dress. Is insufficient things. But the place where we're at now, if I know that, somebody wants to invite me somewhere, somebody wants to be my friend, which some people think you can't make friends at mid-20s. I've made the most amount of friends in like the last 3 years in comparison to the last 15, and I didn't think that. So those that are scared that, I finished secondary school, I finished college, I'm even nearly finishing uni, I left with no friends. Trust me, you've got so many more to meet. Again, those that also think that, I didn't meet my husband at secondary school, I didn't meet my husband in college, I didn't meet my husband
uni. Why does everyone think that? Yo.
No, but do you know what? Our community of people don't value and sleep on the fact that you can actually meet your partner in uni if you mentally are prepared for that. Because most of the time, our community of women don't go into uni with the mindset that I could actually meet my husband there. It's more, I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to leave. I'm going to make my parents proud. And I'm going to get a banging job. Then I want to meet the man of my dreams. But if you stick
to that... That's what we're told. That's what we're saying,
Exactly. But the thing is, if we stick to that, if we continue encouraging even the next generation to stick by that, the thing is, they will also now at 23, they're 27, be asking questions like, what can I do to keep a man? Am I the toxic one? Do I have the skill set to maintain a healthy relationship? Why is it all the friends that I'm making are leaving me? Why is it the friends that I'm making can't be the type of friend I would like to have? Because you are busy focusing on earning your degree and finding a good job, or making a six-figure business. Life doesn't revolve just around those 3 things. Because when you make your 6 figures, what are you gonna just spend? You're not just gonna be buying Prada, Burberry, and your house. You want to enjoy that money with some friends, fly out with your man, vacation. Those type of things are just as enjoyable. Sharing and enjoying the fruits of your work, which is your degrees, or getting a good job, or building a 6-figure business. These are things that deep down we want to enjoy with people. If you don't enjoy it with people, then it's not really worth having. That's just the fact that the fact and the research that I've gathered across all the years of researching these things. But yeah, I mean, even when it comes to control, because when we do find that, oh, I can't keep friendships and I can't keep good relationships, you try to control little things that you can here and there, which turns you into some perfectionist. A lot of people like to call themselves perfectionists,
Perfectionist, yes.
but I think it's just a sign of the fact that you just like to be in control. Sometimes cool down, calm down.
Oh, girl.
The
One thing
season
about
of
me,
calming down, blow over, cool down. You've been on
relax.
180 degrees, 220 degrees Celsius, full blast for the last 6 months. When are you going to cool down? No wonder you're tired. No wonder you're worn out. You don't wonder you just can't be bothered anymore. You've been wearing the same Crocs day in, day out, same shoes,
Relax,
same
so.
bra. Change your bra. Buy a new one. Valentine's Day's coming up. Treat yourself.
Yes.
But yeah, control is also another issue that, if not managed well, can not work. It won't work in your favor. But I mean, what about yourself when it comes to control? Because I know that you're a woman. You're a woman of many talents, multifaceted. Me,
Me and control. Listen, I've had to really deal with control.
Yeah.
Listen, when I tell you the lesson I've learned, I don't think I can. You know, when someone comes, you have to sort you out. Sort you out, yeah. So I feel like with
line you
control,
up.
yeah, me and control, I feel like we had that relationship of I've always wanted to be in control. Like even in my workplace, I want to be in control of when I have my shifts. I want to be in control of what I do and all these things, until there are certain things that really humbled me and taught me you cannot be in control, especially in relationships and friendships. Number one is because you're completely two different minds in terms of just gender in general. Men are different to women. You cannot control that. You cannot control the way people treat you, but you can control the way you treat people. That's what I've learned. You cannot control if he replies or not, but you can control if you're going to entertain it when he does, or you're going to sit there and wait. You cannot control if your friends want to invite you out or not, or forget or they don't forget, but you can control what you do when you're in your own company and how you approach certain things. And I think for me, control, I've really had to do, like, even the beginning of the year, I was all about vision of write your vision, all that things, but I was like, God, teach me to be a person of peace. If this does not go in my control, let me still be content enough to know that it's okay, it is well. Do you know what I mean? One of the things that I struggled with, I guess, when I was whatever in that situation, just to share with somebody, even if you can relate, is I always struggle to understand why can that person do that to me, but I would never do that to that person. Like, how? But I'm asking you if you're okay and you're not replying. But then I would never do that to a person.
No.
For somebody to message me and say, "Are you okay?" That is, thank you. Like, you're a gift. But that person could not see that, and it worn and it drained me to the point where I would sit there and I would just think, why? Like, how can you speak to me like that? I would never even speak to somebody like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these different stuff, I had to learn that if you dwell and stay in that place of questioning other people's decisions and how other people treat you, you will forget even how to treat yourself. Do you know what I mean? You will forget even how to treat other people. And some people are so wicked and evil that you will now even start to treat other people like the way you treat you, the way they treat you, because you'll be like, if they get to cuss me out like that, I'm gonna do the same.
And facing the truth of there's always a bit of wickedness in everybody. Not everybody wants to face that. Relationships are like a mirror. As I said again, they will reveal the true you. Me that I look presentable and angelic like this. I didn't know I had a sharp mouth. I didn't know I can really just drop 2 bars and it will lock you up. It will lock you. I didn't know. I didn't know. I just thought, yeah, I'm funny. I'm gonna be praising my man with words. I'm gonna be praising my friends with sweet words. Me, I'm good with words, so I'm gonna be. But then I didn't realize that when I'm angry, when I'm mad, like when I think, nah, this thing is not going my way. If I make a comment, it will really sharpen you, but not sharpen you in a sense where you're sharpened in a good way. You will be sharpened, but that point that I'm pointing is like, ow! Do you know the damage you are causing? And to me, it's like, wait, how can I do this to somebody that I claim to love? So that made me now, because obviously we deal with clients that are victims of abuse, whether it's verbal, mental, physical. And when you're in that place where you're sharing that, yeah, they did you dirty, they did you wrong, you also have to sit with yourself and realize that, because one thing you said, we are not in control of how people talk to us, but we're in control of how we talk to people. You need to realize that, hey, if this person is disrespecting me, but I'm now going to my other friends, or I'm now going to other people, or my mom or my dad, and I'm disrespecting them, where did I get that audacity? And then why did they think they had the audacity to speak to me like that? But the thing is, we skipped the whole middle process of asking, where did I get that audacity
What
to
did I
speak
do
to?
wrong? Come on,
We
yeah.
don't do that. It's scary because you then realize, I'm a wicked person, you know? Oh, I've got a sharp mouth.
Yes. You see, my problem was I would, like you could insult me, right? Like, you know, a person could insult me or hurt me and really say all these nasty things about me. Oh, when I'm not talking to my friend. Oh, when I'm not talking to my friends.
Let me get my tea. Let me get my
This.
popcorn.
You are just like this animal. Yo, me, my mouth. Bro, it's the point where I really had to ask God for mercy, because I'm like, how am I, even in those moments where they're not hearing me, I'm still training my mouth to speak all those nasty stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So now I'm learning that, no, how you cannot control how other people speak to you, but you can control how you speak yourself and how you speak about other people. And there's ways, and I think even so many women can relate, that we can have a sharp mouth, maybe it's to them or behind them, but we can have a sharp mouth. And it's so important to take accountability. You're not going to get anywhere having that sharp mouth. You're just going to put yourself in areas where you don't even need to be there. Control yourself.
Yeah, because if it's not controlled now, once you do get married, if most women in this conversation do want to get married or do want to further that commitment in their relationship to that extent, you'll realize that you'll start gossiping about your partner or your friends, thinking you're in a safe environment. But then, for example, if you're not gossiping about your partner to your best friend or your sister, family member, you need to realize that once you're in that relationship, to become one, you're representing your partner. And if you now cannot manage your man or your woman to the extent where you're now gossiping, because let's call it what it is, because if you're venting sounds nice, venting sounds like, oh, my chest is heavy, let me just talk. It's gossip. It's gossip, because if your partner was there in the room, you wouldn't be saying it and lining it up the way you are. So because they're not there, that's how it's gossip. Okay, so you're gonna be gossiping about your partner. You're gonna be now the what's it called, the representation that you're supposed to have for your relationship to the world. Because when you're in a relationship, is you and your partner against the world. Is the world versus you, regardless of whether it's family members. Me, I don't encourage getting family members, friends involved in things that happen within yourself and your partner. That's either between yourself and your partner and God, or between you and your partner, realistically. Because each and every man and woman on this earth has their own faults, has their own lacks, and God has given us the capacity to push through, to understand, and to have the capacity to find and resolve issues that you yourselves have caused, you guys can also bring the solution to it, because those that have come before us have been able to do it, and we surely can if we definitely work together to find the answers. To do so, it can definitely happen. But the thing is, we don't trust our partners enough to give them or to allow them to have the capacity or sometimes we don't trust ourselves to think that, okay, I have never really faced this issue before, I'm not too sure how to face it, I don't trust myself to find the answer for it. That's already a red flag, because you have the capacity. You have, let's say, family members that, yes, you can go to, but you don't necessarily have to open up and say that this is what me and my partner are currently going through, or this is what I am going through. For example, you said like, oh, you see videos about relationships and you'll swipe through. It's not that you asked for your phone to be displaying things about relationships on your phone up and down, but it's there. There's so much information there that even you yourself, whether you try to apply it or not, whether you try to see it works or not, you'll be able to know that, okay, it's the same way we use cream, we use makeup, we use soaps, hygiene products. Some of them we have to kind of try it out to see, okay, does it make my skin a bit more drier? Does it make my skin more moisturized? Then you'll be able to realize that, okay, this is not working for us. I'm bringing it back to relationships and friendships. This is not working for us. We're going to have to try something else. That's
Can I ask?
Yeah, sure. No, go ahead.
Okay, so you mentioned friendships and relationships. So I want to ask, how do you balance and I mean healthy, I mean you're in a serious relationship, it's healthy, that person, you see each other, you know, getting married and all of those things. I'm not talking about wishy-washy situationships, all of that. I'm talking about, okay, you're in a serious relationship. So how do you balance that and friendships?
Oh, so how do you balance being in a committed relationship and having external friendships?
In terms of like, okay, knowing boundaries. So for example, I know me and my close friends, we are very open with each other. We're very open with each other. I mean, personally, for me, I've never been in like a long-term relationship, but most of my friends have. You know, I have one friend who's been with her man for like 2 years. I have my other friend who, is in a relationship. Like, I've always been surrounded in relationships. So I've never been able to give like, oh guys, that, but they've always come to me. But I wonder, when I get in a serious relationship, how am I going to be able to balance the boundaries of my relationship and the boundaries of my friendship?
Okay, so for example, I don't know if you wanted it to be a generic answer, but I'll start with something a bit more personal. So, I've been in a heavily committed. So I've been in a 4-year relationship as of today. Yeah, 4 years.
It's your anniversary.
It was a month ago. 4 years a month. Yeah. So actually, wait, today's the 2nd. No, yeah. So yeah, last month. And I know that we're pushing towards marriage this year or so. I'm not giving away too much, but I already mentally have prepared that certain friendships that I have as of right now, most of my friends are single. Shout out to you guys, because I know that God's got a good plan for you. Amen. As long as you guys, I'm good in the head. Don't worry, good men will find you. Trust me. But yeah, so I know that in my head, mentally, I've been seeing some ladies that are getting engaged that are in my midst that I'm not too close with, but I know that if they've found men that can engage them, I know that there's something there that I could possibly learn from, whether good or bad. So I know that I can definitely reach out to them. For example, I've seen there's always baby mamas, there's always ladies having kids. I know that when I have kids, there's certain things that I can't go to Google for. I'd have to ask my fellow sister, auntie. I would have to ask those friends that I've seen. Oh, you've got a baby boy. Our baby boy is different to baby girls. Yes. I know that mentally I'm prepared, and my ego will not stop me from asking those type of questions. In that area, my shame is the percentage is very low. I will ask for help. Had to learn the hard way, but I'll definitely ask for help because I know that it's for my benefit, and of course my partner wouldn't mind as well. I've already given 2 examples of boundaries. So boundaries in a sense where I know that when it comes to having kids and being married or being engaged, there's certain type of responsibilities that I will now be committed to or entitled to My
Yes.
single friends to some extent will not understand. I can still talk to them about the process, talk to them about the struggles, because my sis will know. My girls, they will know that okay, sis we can't really be inviting her to A, B, and C, D, E,
Yeah.
F, and G parties anymore.
Yeah.
Only because they can see that I'm focused on businesses, I'm focused on my brand, focused on my partner, and the power of saying no.
Mm.
Sometimes we don't want to miss out on the fun of our youth. I don't know where that idea came from, that the youth is only enjoyed when you're single, or your youth is only enjoyed if you're only out with your girls, that your youth can't be enjoyed when you're in a relationship, or your youth can't be enjoyed when you're married, which is false. That's not true. Because if we see the Oyimbo people enjoying, they're taking out family trips, they're traveling before they have kids, they're buying houses, they're
Yeah.
saving up, they're finding good jobs. There's really no excuse for us. Let's just get our priorities straight and our accountability straight as well, in order to be truthful to ourselves. So I think the third and last point I would use to share in terms of building boundaries between friends and within your partner as well is to know that you need to know what you're gaining and what you're losing. And sometimes, for
Yes.
example,
Wow.
death is either the end of something or the start of something new. That's something I always say. Death, so the end of something or the start of something new. If you have to put a boundary to a relationship by saying, look, I know that when I was living in my parents' house, we can talk 11 p.m. onwards, 12 p.m. onwards, 3 a.m. in the morning, but I'm in my husband's house now. At those times, I get into a certain type of serious business that means I cannot be on my phone at those times. So understand.
Understand though.
And yeah, so those are conversations in which you don't have to be upfront and say that, yeah, me, you know, because they it's not that they're jealous. Sometimes it's the lack of understanding, because
Lack
if
of understanding.
yeah, but in order for you to create those boundaries, is to realize that okay, this is the start of something new. Let me get into a routine and then understand that okay, my reality is that I can't engage in these activities anymore. Now that I'm honest with myself, I need to be honest with those that are involved in it as well.
Yeah.
But I've got to now say no.
And I think it's just having even friendships that are just pure and healthy. Like sometimes you don't, if you're constantly having to babysit your friend in every season, is that your friend? If
For
you're
real.
constantly having to drag friendships because they're not going to understand, so I have to explain myself, is you have to question those friendships. It's
Yeah.
not even just when it comes to just relationships, just in different seasons. Like
Mm.
it's so important to have friendships that understand what season you're in. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're in a season of separation where you know that I'm not going to be talking to my friends a lot. And sometimes you're in a season of, guys, we're going to be doing this meal every weekend, pictures, videos, whatever it be.
Yeah.
Having friends that there's a transparency and there's honesty of knowing what season that you're at. Do you know what I mean? Because even my friends, I hope they will understand when it comes to, I'm in a season of writing my exams, I'm in a season of this, I'm in a season where I'm preparing for marriage. And preparing for marriage is not even just like, I think it's not even just when you're actually engaged. Maybe God might even want you to prepare for marriage in that season of just like, do you know what, I'm focusing on what God wants me to learn about marriage and all these stuff. And even just accepting your friends' boundaries as a single person as well, I think it's
Yeah.
important.
It
Because
is.
so many times you have friends that like, oh, do this, or just go out with him, or just talk to him, or this, that. Meanwhile, they're directing you to all sorts of wahala and
Yeah.
dangerous things and
Yeah.
all many things. And while you
Yeah.
could have friends that understand, you know what, my friend is in a single season. That means
Mm.
enjoying loving on her. That means she's
Yeah.
enjoying taking care of her. So I'm
Yeah.
also going to be a friend that just adds to those needs and not takes away those needs and not builds other pictures. Because I think it's
Yeah.
so wicked for your friend to know that you're in a single season, but they talking and pushing you into a season that you're not supposed to be in.
Yeah, because I mean that's not going to work out for you because you're not going to know how to maintain it effectively. And
Exactly.
that's going to be your responsibility, not theirs, when you find yourself within that situation. So that's not
Mm-hmm.
fair on yourself. But then yeah, you're in charge of that decision in terms of like whether choosing to be in a relationship or not, or choosing to date or not. Then again, those that didn't hear at the beginning, we do have an ebook on our website. The link is in my bio. It's at a discounted price. If the question is, are you dating intentionally? So
Wow.
everything that's discussed today can be found in further detail on our ebook online. It's currently at a discounted price, so feel free to get yourself one right now. But
So
yeah,
what
I
is your
mean,
definition of dating intentionally then? Because I'm a firm believer that, listen, we are no longer just dating because it looks nice on Instagram,
yeah.
because it's going to get us the views on TikTok if we do couple videos.
Oh my
Like, what
God.
is your definition of dating intentionally in the generation that we're in today?
Okay, so I would, in one sentence, define dating intentionally as two healthy individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, because healthy could mean physically. Two mentally healthy individuals dating each other consciously.
Wow.
Yeah. So two healthy-minded individuals dating each other consciously.
Mm-hmm. With conscious, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna end it there because if I was to add a bit more, I'd say dating consciously with a destination in mind,
Mm-hmm.
with a united destination. Yeah, because why I worded it like that. A lot of people don't post a lot of people I know don't post their relationships online. We just see the good sides. But if you do sit down and talk to them about what's your goal, you and your partner's goal within your relationship. Do you want to get married? The woman will say, yeah. You ask the man, do you want to get married? I'm just
I
see
don't
where
know.
it goes. Yeah. So it's the destination is not the same. And if
Nine.
the destination is not the same, you guys are heading towards two different directions.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I would word it: two mentally healthy individuals with a united destination in mind and that are conscious. That is what dating intentionally for me is.
Wow, wow. I think I love that definition of dating with conscious. Like, you know what you're doing. You
You
know
know,
what you're doing. Like, you know exactly what you're doing.
you know.
I know you should be. It's just, I just love that because
Mm.
I think as well, those are the conversations, just hearing that is so needed. Like, dating, knowing what you're doing. If you
Yeah.
don't know what you're doing, don't label it for what it's not.
Period. That part. That.
Don't label it for what it's not. You are messing about, you're doing that. And I want better for women. I also want better for myself to understand that if
Mm.
I am dating, it's with an intention, it's with a purpose, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I am not just dating to go with the flow. And I think
No.
sometimes you hear people be like, oh, yeah, of course you have to go with the flow. You don't want to put pressure on yourself. Maybe you're not ready to date. Maybe you
Yeah.
just go on ahead.
Or doing research purposes for some scientific experiment that you may have, because you might get rewarded at the end of the semester by your tutor, which is
Come on.
heartbreak, and heartbreak will give you an A star for
Mm-hmm.
trying to complete that test paper
If there
that
was an above A star, that would
you would
be
receive
better.
it. Yeah, unfortunately. So yeah,
Yeah.
you end up playing yourself. You play yourself. You play yourself if you don't know where you're going. There's a lot of I don't knows. You'd be surprised. You ask somebody, "Oh, what's your
Yes.
definition of love? What does love look like to you?" Um.
Mm.
Well, there
And
you
it's
go then.
about having those raw conversations with yourself to say, you know what, if I'm not ready today, I'm not ready to date. Please. Do you know what I mean? Because most of the time we are the equation that leads us to heartbreak because we
Yeah.
are just so not serious and focused. And even it goes back to how disciplined you are in yourself. If you're not a disciplined woman, your relationships are not going to be disciplined. If you're not a disciplined woman, your friendships are not going to be disciplined. They're just going to be gallivanting everywhere. And that's why I feel like even a lot of us, even myself, I can say this, that we get in the same cycles. And most of the time it's exactly the same thing, maybe not the same way, happened the same timing way, but we ended up feeling the same thing.
Yeah, because as I said, if it's not dealt with the first time around effectively, it's 100% guaranteed to come back again. It's guaranteed to happen again until you learn what you were supposed to learn in that season that you was putting on pending, that you were putting in buffering, that you was leaving it at the loading stage. You thought that, okay, let me leave it there and move on to something else. No, it will come back again. The same way the clock works 24 hours, life does that as well. It goes in a circular motion. If it's happened before, it's guaranteed to happen again, but you need to build up those skills in order for when those situations do reoccur, because they will. What will you do differently next time? How will you go about it next time? Which hopefully the things and the points that we highlighted today can be taken into account, for you to basically go into your relationship with in mind that it's an investment. I have something to protect and I have something to invest, which I know that today, if I start investing today with healthy communication, knowing what I want, knowing what we are in it for, we are guaranteed to produce good fruits. And the thing about calculations is, even if it doesn't give you the exact result, you will always see the working out. You will always see, what did we do? What did we put in? And why has it caused it? Why has the reward come this way? Or why has consequences come this way? And now that calculation method, we can do this differently. We can do that differently in order to get this different result. And I just hope that's the calculation method that people can definitely use in their friendships and relationships in the days to come.
So guys, we are going to take questions. Absolutely any question. We have an amazing woman right in front of us. Please take advantage. You can join the live. If you're going to join the live, please make sure you are serious. But if you don't feel comfortable, you know, when people just join the live, no, this is the platform. Or you can ask on the question box or in the comments any questions. You know what? If you're saying, I've been a bit questioning my friendships, what do I do to better my friendships? You know, I'm just in a season where I like this guy, but I'm not sure if he likes me. What do I do? Like, come on, take advantage of this session. We spoke about in the beginning how we hear these topics all the time. This is the perfect opportunity to ask questions. No one is going to, you know, prosecute you for asking those questions or make it personal. So yeah, if you have a question, you can join the live request, or you can type it at the box or the comments. Any question, we are here to answer it. But yeah, thank you so much, Sophia. Thank you so much. And I've learned so much. Relationship for 2 years is advisable for Christians. I think when it comes to that, when it comes to timing in relationships, what do you think? Because you just mentioned that you've been in a relationship. For those of you who joined, we're taking any relationship and friendship question. So yeah, I was asking, so you've been in a relationship for 4 years, and have you ever been at a point before this 4 years where you're like, I'm ready? Or is it now that you're ready? Or have you ever been like, I don't know when I'm going to be ready for marriage?
I would say that I actually went into the relationship thinking I was ready for marriage, but I was not correct about that, because there was one coping mechanism that I had, which was running away from confrontation. It was just something I didn't like. I didn't like being told that, oh, you're not doing this right. You could do this a bit better. Confrontation for me was like, I'm doing my best. Just accept it. What's your problem? But that's not the way to go about things, because it's like, if somebody was supposed to give me that response, it's like, but I can see more. You have such a potential where you can do more. At least try it, see if it works. If it doesn't, then you know where you stand. And then because I'm willing to try new things, I'm like, you know what, this relationship is worth trying and pushing a bit harder. That's what I did. So yeah, I definitely went into the relationship thinking I was ready, but being in the relationship made me realize that I've got so much mental growth to do, so much more understanding to have of the opposite gender, learn new things when it comes to being a bit more patient in terms of whether it's like understanding the dynamic of differentiating friendship and relationship within the as a couple. There's times where I can come to my partner and talk to him heart to heart conversation, have a light-hearted conversation, but when it comes to serious issues, I can't just approach him just anyhow. Because I have to consider, okay, maybe he's been working today. If he's been at work all day, he's gonna be tired, and that if he has to be emotionally available to me, I have to consider, okay, if he's tired, will I get the best out of him? These are the type of things I had to consider. But at first, I didn't think about those things because I didn't think those things were important. But with the marriage mindset in mind, which is another ebook that we have, which is on the website called Marriage Mindset, is something that I really had to put into consideration because it's cute, you know, when you're not living together, it's like, okay, I know that when we do come together, we give 100% of our time together. But for example, we both have our own brands to run in our own time. Sometimes we have certain orders we have to fulfill, certain bookings and sessions we have to fulfill that take up a lot of our time. And we had to now come together and organize our schedules in order to better calculate our own personal time together, which to me, like, in my mind, I was like, oh, we're spending time together. Like, this is so cute. Like, oh, couple goals, period. You other than put that time aside, what other time in the 24 hours in your day you have for just the two of us? Yeah. So just nah. So now I would say I'm like out of the mindset of convincing myself that I was ready for marriage, but now I know that I am definitely ready for marriage, and my partner has also given me the go ahead that yeah, you definitely are. Because if I'm telling myself one thing and my partner thinks another, I'm only fooling myself. So as I said, power of duality. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers your question.
Yes, it does. So yeah, guys, make sure you put your questions. Okay, so we have a question: 3 things to consider when you are selecting a partner. So I'll let you go first and then I can go. And also, guys, if you have 3 things to consider when you're selecting a partner, for those of you who have a good answer, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah. I see my people here. So guys, I know that you guys can really share some gems in the comments. So please do answer this question. But yeah, and if you have been watching my videos, I put some green flag videos. So you guys should know 3 things to consider, okay? I would say 3 things to consider. I'm not going to give my personal ones because I mean, you got to have a good sense of humor. But anyways, that aside, I would definitely say you've got to be financially coherent. So financially, how do I simplify this? Disciplined. Yeah, financially disciplined. The second one would be you've got to be I think everything's got to do with discipline, emotionally disciplined. That's because if your logic, both genders, yeah, if your logic is sometimes overriding your emotions, I don't want to live with a robot. I need somebody that can sympathize.
Emotionally intelligent, yes.
Yeah, so emotional intelligence, financially disciplined, and I think the last one would be family orientated.
Yes, I was literally just thinking that.
Yeah, because family oriented. That's my 3. I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, my 3. I think the first one would definitely be their faith. So if you have a faith, are they speaking the same language as you in terms of faith? What are their goals with their faith? what
Mm.
they think about the faith that you're in, for those of you who have a different faith. So for example, for me, it would be, are we Christian, and what type of Christian are you?
Oh,
What
yeah.
level of spiritual maturity are you
Mm.
in?
Yeah.
That's for me major. We're not even going anywhere else. You could be handsome, you could be cute, you could be rich, but like those things matter.
Yeah.
Number two, I think for me is just how you want to raise your family. I think that's just so important. Like,
Yeah.
how you want to raise your children? What type of
Mm.
generational curses do you want to break? How do you
Yeah.
want to raise your children in an environment? What type of environment do you want to raise your children? Do you want to raise your children in an environment where daddy and mommy are always working and we always have a nine?
Mm.
Do you want to raise your children in an environment where, no, we're going to work 9 to 5 so we can come home, have dinner with the kids, put the kids to bed,
The
wake
bed.
up and make breakfast for the kids? Do
Mm.
we want to have do you know what I mean? Things like that. Do we want to have family vacations?
Yeah.
What are we raising our children for? Because at the end
Mm.
of the day, I'm so strong believer
Mm.
that what we do now is not only for us, it's for the next generation.
100%.
It's for the
100%.
generation to come. What are we going to teach our children about relationships?
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
want our love to be reflected on our children? What
Mm.
type of household do you want to build? Do you want to
Yeah.
be the household of joy, of peace, or do you want to be the household where daddy's always at work, he never spends time, or mommy's always
Mm.
stressed out because this, that, etc., etc.? Those
Yeah.
are second thing for me is, what type of household do you want to build?
Yeah.
And I think the third thing, sorry, when considering a partner is just like, are you genuinely into them? Like, are you genuinely
Ooh.
into that person? You know,
Yeah.
are you genuinely into them? Like, because listen, there are certain things that have to be the foundation in order to maintain a relationship. Like,
Yeah.
can I look at you and be like, yeah, I know I've had an argument, but I'm genuinely into you. I genuinely like you. You know what
Honestly, if it
I
wasn't
genuinely
for your cuteness or your handsomeness, yeah.
things like
Ah,
that. Do you know what I mean? Can I back you up? I'm genuinely into you. I'm genuinely interested in the way you think, the way you talk, your plans, your vision, your morals,
honestly,
your values. Like, damn, like this is somebody every day I'm excited and I'm into. You know what I mean? Not just
yeah.
because, okay, we have two things that we're interested in, so I'm going
Honestly,
to compromise and settle for less because what? No, like, no. I want to
yeah.
be interested in every side of you. I want to be into you in all sides of you. Do you know what I mean? I want to generally
100.
like you because there's going to be times, I truly believe, where you're like, I don't even want to talk to you. But those interests and those little things, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you're
100%.
interested in cooking or something and you see like
Yeah.
a video and you see like a video of cooking, you know you're gonna send it to him and it's gonna be like, oh, that
I'll
video
save
cooking.
it and then send it later.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to be genuinely into you. So for me, it's faith. How do you want to, you
Raise
know,
a household.
build your house and just genuinely into that person? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Somebody also said ambitious, emotionally intelligent, and can you just say that for me? The last one,
Resilience.
resilience. Yeah,
Oh, I like that one. Resilience. I love that.
yeah. And then we have a question, guys. Don't forget that we are doing a Q&A,
Yeah.
relationship and friendship. So you can join the live or type in your questions. So the
The
three
three.
W's, who is it that you are choosing to be? Number one, why are you or
Or
slash do
do.
you want to be with them? Why do you want to
Mm,
be with them, or why are you with them? And
mm,
what gains or loses will you experience by coming together? Yeah.
together.
What will I lose? What will I lose and what will I gain? And it's I just love that.
I like that actually. What will I lose and what will I gain? Listen, if I write a book on that, trust me, you're getting
Finished.
a shout out. You're getting your shout out. You're
What
getting
will I
shout
lose
out.
and what will I gain?
I
Come
love
on.
that.
And
Yeah,
many times we unfortunately have nothing that we're going to gain because we're not thinking about it. We're rushing or we're not doing what we need to do. What am I going to gain from this relationship?
yeah, yeah.
What am I going to lose? Is it my morals? It
Mm,
might not even be materialistic things. You know, it might just be morals, it might just be values. Am I going to lose my morals and my values because I'm settling for somebody that is not aligned to what I believe in?
And you know, like, since obviously it's like a ladies' discussion, what came to mind while you were speaking about what will I lose is usually when obviously you get married, or whether it's in marriage or not, but you know, women have kids and their bodies do change, whether it's because of childbirth or PTSD or like post. I think there's a other word for postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Depression. I don't know. For me, it's more. That's why I said when I get to that stage, I'm bombarding all these women that have kids here, Sarah.
Yeah,
Even I'm
no,
bombarding you
hit
guys
me
with
up, hit me
questions
up next time.
because I don't. I want to know how can I avoid having postpartum depression, because my body's my temple. I know my kids are precious to me, but you know, these things are real. My mental health is important to me. So, like, what am I gonna lose? What am I gonna gain? I want
Yes.
to be able to be a confident mother. I want to be able to be a confident pregnant wife. I want to be able to be
Come
confident.
on.
Am I gonna lose my confidence? Am I gonna gain it? When I gain that happy relationship weight, am I gonna be happy with it? Am I happy with it? These are the things that we usually try to answer while we're in the moment, and then it's like what we said, or what I faced is having to learn to be kind to myself in the process. And then when looking back at it, realizing that, oh, I was a bit harsh on myself in the process. I wasn't transparent with myself in the process. I need to do that differently, otherwise I might not make it out. So these are definitely, that's an amazing question to definitely ask and
Think about, yeah.
to think about.
We
Yeah,
focus so much on what we gain and not what we may lose. Yes.
yeah,
I can say that, oh, I'm gonna gain somebody to talk to, I'm gonna
yeah.
gain somebody to go on dates with. Oh my gosh, I finally wear my dresses. I'm going to gain somebody I can talk to about, to my friends. And girl, meanwhile, you're losing all your morals, all your values, all the things you've built, all the things that you've worked hard for mentally. Someone is coming and taking away your mental health, taking away your inner peace.
Yeah.
It's not likely to avoid, but you can be prepared and have the tools to be ready to deal with it. Yes. Why it's so crucial knowing yourself and the partner you pick, especially when it comes to motherhood. Wow. Yes. And it goes back to that the point that I made in asking those questions when you are selecting a partner, having that conversation. How are you going to build a house? How are you going to contribute into building a house? How do you plan on raising children? When I'm pregnant, how do you plan on taking care of me? What is your plan financially? Do you know what I mean? Even asking questions like, if I didn't want to work when I'm pregnant, or if I'm going to take a break from work after having a baby, or even just do maternity leave, how are you going to still uphold a household?
Those
What are your
questions
values towards motherhood? And even just asking your partner things like, have you ever seen things like that in your own mother? Do you know what I mean? Have you ever seen, what have you seen in your own mother that you could take?
Oops, sorry. Yeah, definitely. I definitely say that. Even aunts as well, or nieces and nephews, things that you've seen that you like, things that you've seen that you haven't liked. Also, just don't also forget about hygiene, ladies, please. Google, what should I know at 21 about my lady friend downstairs? What should I know at 18 about my hygiene? Like bacteria that could be birth, fibrosis, endometriosis, fibroids, PCOS. These are all words
things,
that it's like, don't wait until you're sick to find out what these sexually transmitted diseases are, effects of pregnant early teen pregnancies. It's because if you know these if you know pieces of this information, you can also share it amongst your family members. In order to save a community, it just takes one person, because one person knows another person has a family member,
Yes.
family members is a whole community, you know. So definitely research these things. There's so many podcasts out there. If you're not really a reader or like to read, you can definitely tune into these conversations, find people that have conversations that you wouldn't really find yourselves into daily, and find out how you can optimize your hygiene, whether it's from oral to vaginal to
Yes.
body hair and stuff like that.
Mhm.
These things can really differentiate you from others as well. Please.
Yeah, and that even goes back to just the series Loving on Me and taking care of yourself, knowing
Yeah.
how to take care of yourself before you can take care of
Oh,
anybody else. And you know what? A lot of times it's like that's the purpose of being single. The purpose of being single is not, you know what to deal with when you've got a cramp. You're not now trying to
mm,
balance being a wife and figuring out how to deal with cramps. You know how to fix your gut health. You know the
oh,
balance of a healthy lifestyle, healthy habits, gym, and all these things of what it means when you're feeling like this, what it means when you see your skin like this, just the basic things of just your skin, you know, things like that of what's good for your skin, what's not good for your skin, what's good for your mental health, what's not good for your mental health. Because like you spoke about earlier, that relationships is like a mirror. You will be exposed. Your lack of knowledge for your own
literally.
body will be
Yeah,
exposed in that relationship if you're not careful. And
yeah,
sometimes it can be embarrassing because it's
it
like, bro,
is.
I could have done this when I was single, but I was
That
worried about
That's
oh this
exactly
that.
what I'm talking about when it comes to skills, because maybe I was a bit surface level with what specific skills, but I
Mhm.
did want us to go into a bit more deeper rather than just blatantly saying it out there. So when I said before how we usually go into mid-20s focusing on our degrees, getting a good job, settling down, but the thing is we say settling down but don't realize the skill sets it will need to be able to build and maintain that healthy relationship. These are the things. The things are when you have a cramp, what can you do about it?
Mm,
When your child is going through puberty, how will you help them? If your child, you have a daughter, if you're a man, you have a daughter, and your woman, she's working that day, and your daughter now has her first menstrual cycle, will you be able to help with that? Or would you
yes,
have to call
yeah.
mum at work to deal with it? And, there's just certain things, for example, that certain skill sets, if you have siblings, it makes it a bit help easier to understand that there are certain things that females go through that it should be good for me to know, so that when I do have a girlfriend or my first girlfriend, when I do see blood on her clothes, or if I do see blood on her clothes, how would I react? Would I react
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
so important.
dirty, it's weird? No, I know that, oh, because I've got sisters, this is how they usually deal with it. I can share this. That's what is called emotional maturity, because you'll be able to make her feel secure in her insecurity.
Mhm.
These are the skill sets that we can definitely like just go into in much detail, but that's what I said, skills that are needed in order for you to fulfill your purpose within a marriage or within a relationship. These
Yeah.
are the specific skill sets with hygiene. Even when it comes to food, people really do look down on, food preparations, but we don't realize that food is also medicinal. When people are comfort eating, people comfort eat to fulfill a void within themselves, and they usually try to comfort eat with unhealthy food.
Mhm.
And usually, if, for example, if you are only exposed to fruits and veg, like people are back home, or freshly made food,
Mhm.
if you were to comfort eat on that, I mean, it wouldn't cause that much damage because you're essentially eating healthy food, or organic food, sorry. So food is medicinal. Think of food as medicinal. So you as women, if you do look down on cooking, or building your skills on in the kitchen, look at it as, what, if I know how to throw down some good meals, that could make my man strong. And if he's strong at 11 or 12 or 1 a.m. in the morning, that strength will pull through for you. Okay, that strength will pull through when you're making him that freshly made ginger with orange and
Not the ginger and orange. Add a bit of
to
garlic.
help with the back strength. Sis, my sister, your marriage will be sweet. Oh, So these are the
No,
things that
wow, thank
you are
you.
in control of, and you can build on those skill sets in order to be prepared for those type of environments. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, thank you so much. Does anybody have any more questions? Sorry, before we go. Not gonna lie, before we dated, I gave him good food. He claims one of his reasons he started seeing as
Me
period.
for
The
the
salt.
friend.
It's the spice. Listen, it's the spice.
It's the seasonings. Yeah?
Literally.
She said, don't forget the nutmeg.
Lord.
Yeah, that nutmeg, yeah. Ha! Nutmeg is an underrated ingredient. Sorry. But yeah, that was funny. That was too funny. Yeah,
But
there's
yeah,
so much, but that made
yeah,
me
I
want to
know.
just.
Literally, there's just so much we can talk about and talk about and talk about. But thank you so much.
Thank
Honestly,
you.
it has
Thank
been
you.
such a useful conversation, and I don't think I've had this conversation in a while, actually. So
Yeah.
I'm just so honored and blessed to have somebody like you who's just guided us into it.
Sorry, it's the comments. She said
It's
he
the
bought that
comment.
ring 3 months after that nutmeg got added.
I haven't seen that one. That
Yes.
one's not popped up.
Oh, on your side, it hasn't popped up yet. It says there, yeah, he bought the ring 3 months after the nutmeg was added. Right after it says, don't forget the nutmeg. I don't know.
Food is why we used to lol.
But yeah, no,
But
thank you.
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have anything to say before we
Just
go?
thank you for this opportunity for reaching out. It takes guts to do that, and you're a woman of vision. I'm just looking
Oh,
forward to seeing your growth, to seeing to see how you evolve. You've joined me on part of this journey, and I'm definitely on board. I don't like to do things half-hearted. I like to go all in. Like you did say yourself, you love wholeheartedly and you love strong. Yeah, I'm part of that gang as well. So also thank you for everyone that did tune in. Thank you, Sarah.
yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Let me see some names. Let me shout you out. My love is also in the comments there. Bantu, Angie. Thank you for everyone that has tuned in. I saw your comments. I think I saw Jody as well.
Oh,
Thank you, guys. The support has been seen, and again, thank you to Samantha. And yeah, that's it from me. I'm just grateful.
yeah, no, thank you guys so much, every single one of you guys. Make sure you're following us both. People from Shefindsherstrength, go and follow her. People from her brand, come and follow Shefindsherstrength. We are both just looking forward to what the year has hold. Shefindsherstrength is actually hosting another live session at the end of the month, which talks about physical health, women's health. I'm
Love
actually going to put
it.
that on Monday. We're going to be talking about periods. We're going to be talking about
Love it.
hygiene. We're going to be talking about bloating,
Love it.
how we can deal with that. We're going to be talking about resources that we can have as women. We
Mm,
actually, one of our guest speakers is actually a doctor, so she's
love
going to be really telling us the things that we need to hear. And just if you have any questions, please come. It's on the 24th of February here on live. And then obviously we have our annual event coming up next month on the 18th, Becoming Her Mentally. Go and get your ticket, go and see all the information, and just follow. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna get ready to go to bed now because I have such a full day tomorrow. But yeah,
it.
yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Sophia.
You guys have a good evening, and check out the link in my bio for our ebooks.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.